everyone, it's Taylor. Now that you've led your group through observation, it's time to take them into interpretation. Interpretation is when we start to ask questions that really guide us to the heart of the passage. My role as a leader is to gather them, arrange them, and ask them in an order that flows and makes sense. The best way to jump into your time of interpretation is to have your group start sharing questions. Most of these questions are going to actually come from all of the great observations you just made. What are some of the questions that you guys have?
Why did he say you give them something to eat? Because obviously they can't,
And
right?
they only had 5 loaves and 2 fish, so
Right.
What?
How
Or
do you do that?
why? Or
Yeah. As a leader, I try to write down all of the questions that people are giving me, and if possible, I try to have a visual, so a whiteboard or a chalkboard, something to where everyone else in the group can see the questions we're starting to ask of the passage.
Why does, I'm going to sort it to Jesus. Why does Jesus stay? And
Since you might not have all the time you need for your group to have questions that are going to get to the heart of the passage, it's important as a leader to come with some prepared questions already to the study. But I'd say it's always better to try to use your group's questions as much as possible because God's making them curious. He might have something he wants to say to them.
I guess kind of added on this, why is this story here? Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, in the narrative, I think initially, because you've got Jesus sends the disciples out, random story about Herod's birthday party, and then the disciples come back.
Yeah.
So, why is the story of Herod here?
When your group starts sharing their questions, they might be all over the place. So you could be asking yourself, all right, so how am I supposed to arrange these questions in an order that flows and also leads us to the heart of the passage? Well, typically what I like to do is I take the questions in a chronological order based upon the passage, but then I pull out the most significant questions that get at the deeper meaning or the questions that I know we're going to want to spend much more time talking about and put them at the end so that that's where we're spending most of our discussion is on what's important.
We'll do this, and then this one, and we'll end with this one. Cool.
Now that I've arranged the questions, I start asking them. One thing I love about the style Bible study is that even though I come prepared, I don't have to know all of the answers to the questions. The whole point is that we're discovering it together.
Speaking of the feast, why were there leftovers?
You give your all to God. He won't just give you everything, he'll give you more than what he needs.
A lot of parts of this remind me of Psalm 23. Because the green grass, it's he leads me down in green pastures. And then there's that last verse that my cup overflows, right?
Right? There's a really cool comparison that Mark's making here with Jesus. There's an abundance, so there's a cup overflowing, 12 baskets.
As God gives us clarity about what the passage means, it's time for us to move on into application.